Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, GameStalk. My name is Gabriel. Thanks for joining. If you're new to the channel, please don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe. Subscribing helps me a lot. If you enjoy my videos, please thumbs up and don't forget to hit subscribe. In this video, in today's video, I will be following up my previous launch video on playing as Letho in The Witcher 2 Assassin of Kings Enhanced Edition. Without further ado, let's get straight into it. Last time I promised you guys that I will develop a full playable Letho, and not only including his Quen, but also his animations, and to the point where he's actually fully playable in the whole story. I will release this one on Nexus Mods. I have not released the previous one as that was not up to par. This one I haven't tested all the way, so if you encounter any bugs, I appreciate comments in the description. Please leave some. So far, I've been playing for quite a while. I have not finished the story using Letho with his new animations and his new hits and skills. But if you encounter any issues, please let me know. So once again, I will demonstrate that Letho has absolutely all the skills that you would expect. So first things first. All right, as you see, his stance is a bit different. And as you see here, well, just took a damage. He can run by holding the sword properly. Obviously, you can also walk should you choose to walk. Okay, so he's walking. That's the walk modifier. And you can walk absolutely in all directions unimpeded. Another thing that I want to show you guys is that he does not roll. Geralt rolls when you try to dodge. He's actually going to perform one of his attacks instead of rolling. So because Letho doesn't roll. And in terms of actual performing his most powerful attacks, here we go. There we go. So this is a full combo of Letho and all his attacks. So whether you choose strong attack or weak attack, you will see what I've just showcased in the video. He will do the attacks. This is the first basic one. If you pause a little bit, he'll just do the same one again. If you combo, then basically the combo that I just showed will come out. It's very useful for hitting multiple enemies. Like you've seen in the last video, the Quen is that of Letho. Perfectly, with the glow and everything. Absolutely no issues. I just want to mention that when you're going to interact in dialogues, the nice glow will disappear, but that can be easily fixed. Just cast Quen again. Besides the actual vigor, it's unlimited in this mod. There's an option to turn it off should you wish to. So as you see here, I can just multiple Quen and the vigor just comes back. He can use art. Obviously, he can use the Igni. He can even use the Yerden, should people want to use the Yerden. Right, as you see, he's using the Yerden. It's actually required in the quest in Flotsam to use Yerden to trap the giant monster, which you'll probably see when you play through the story. And I've added as a bonus as part of his Axii. So I'm just going to show you his full tree, full abilities and whatnot. But I want to focus on the inventory. I've also managed to modify his weight bearings. I'll explain in a second why. It's because when you cast Axii with no enemy in sight upon yourself, and I'm going to demonstrate that, basically automatically to your inventory, we add Letho's weapon, which is the Espadon, and we add some additional bombs, which is Grape Shot and Devil's Puffball, which is what Letho uses. I'm just going to drop one of the Espadons because it's kind of heavy. But basically, yeah, that's it. You get to have his equipment, should you want to. And in terms of Puffball, well, you guessed it. You could just easily, cast, as you know, just the regular bombs that even Geralt had access to. So I didn't have much of an issue replicating the animations. You've noticed that some of the animations are duplicates. It's because Letho doesn't have some of the animations like the Yerden and whatnot. Also to block, it just has one animation. Blocks like a charm, don't worry about it. Other than that, what can I say? Here it is, a full playable Letho. I wanted to make it a little bit even more polished than this, but I think given the situation, he's quite polished. Few words of advice. You can use armor, obviously. However, removing the armor will not have any effect. Okay, just to showcase that. When you remove the armor, obviously the stats will remove, but no immediate visual effect will happen. Personally, I like to choose to play with no armor, as the Quinn is plenty of armor. So yeah, there you have it. He's fully playable. So at the end of this video, I will drop a link at Nexus Mods, where you can go pick up this cool mod if you like it. Please don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe. You can also play through the whole game and let me know if you encounter any issues. You shouldn't. Just as a word of advice, save often, because I haven't played through the entire game, and there might be a rare occasion where the actual animations will bug. Hopefully they won't arrive. I tested it quite intensively, and so far I haven't had any issues. Here we have a fully upgraded Letho, or Geralt, if you would. You'll even notice that when he removes his sword, he uses Letho's animations to draw and put the sword down. Oh, and one more bonus thing that I always wanted to show you guys. When the sword is drawn and you're trying to scan with your medallion, he will do this instead of a regular animation. So that's just a bonus. So here we go again. Just wait for it to complete and come back to normal, and then you can use Letho again. So there you have it. When the Quen drops, you see the full Letho back. And maybe another word of advice, try to sheathe your sword when you're interacting with characters. I mean, it should work. Let's give it a try. And no guarantees that it'll work, but let's try it live. Most of the time, I recommend that you use, you sheath your sword when you talk to main characters. I mean, most of the areas will prevent you from drawing your weapon. If you go to town and you draw your weapon, the guards will quickly kill you. Instant death if you keep your sword out and about, swinging for too long. I think I can talk to this person. Okay, so there you go. It still functions. You can still use the sword and interact with people. But once again, my recommendation is to put the sword away when you're interacting with people. Most of the time, that's the desired effect. There's Cedric. I'm going to try to interact with him and see if everything is fine. But like I said, I do recommend that you guys try it out. The little Axie trick will enable you to have Letho's gear in the arena, which I will be demoing in a second for you guys. So you can see, Letho in action. Yeah, so if you're wondering if the silver sword works, yes, it does. But if you play Letho with my mod, you will only need his Espadon, as Letho is a heavy hitter and has plenty of damage with just the steel sword. So without further ado, let me show you some of the things that Letho can do in action. At some points during the story, I want to mention that he will lose his sword and his gear. So basically the Axie trick helps you get your gear back, and that helps you have his equipment in the arena, which I kind of found odd that you can't get the Espadon in the arena no matter how many monsters you kill. I'll demonstrate that in a second. I'll probably want to find some monsters for you guys so to showcase his new powers. Pretty much a lot of them will be one-hit kills. I'm playing on hard difficulty, but you'll see in the arena it's a fully upgraded Letho, okay? But in the arena, and if he's not fully upgraded, you'll notice that he's not that great. Also, if you want to start playing from the beginning, you can, and you can play with from level 0 and level your Letho up. I like to consider him as a new class, Kingslayer class. It's the two-handed swordsman Kingslayer. I'll show them in the arena what I mean by that. Now, one thing I haven't been able to replicate yet, that's why I said it's version 1.0, is that powerful Ard, which instantly knocks down enemies. Although I have a knockdown chance to ridiculous heights if we check my stats, as you see here, millions of percentage to knock down. The issue is that seems to be some scripts manipulation required, additional script manipulation required for me to be able to knock down enemies on the fly, and the same way to resist knockdown. No matter how much knockdown resistance I put in the skills, you will notice that I cannot knock them down. And yes, it still has the finishers. Just wanted to show you case that. So some of the animations have been kept. And there you go. We have the finishers, the Geralt finishers, which I kind of like. All right, so. So I guess it does function in a weird way. All right, so this is part of it. I just wanted to showcase this to you guys, but what's something more interesting is probably to step into the arena and show you that you can use Letho in the arena. So once again, the voice still belongs to Geralt. However, all the mimics and everything belong to Letho. The issue on the first fight is that little axie trick that, if you guys remember, that I will use in a second to get Letho's gear. So first things first, just remember this is a weaker version of Letho. All right, so the first fight was more for me to get the gear I want and to get rid of the gear I don't want. And the gear that I want is the Espadon, and I really don't need any kind of protection for now, if that makes any sense. And with my trick, I even get to have Letho's bombs. And I'm going to get rid of the silver sword. And this is just like I promised, we have Letho playable in the arena with his equipment and gear. I wish there'd be an easier way to do this, but I thought this is pretty cool. Serves two purposes. And in terms of in the arena, you can basically level up Letho in this case, which is a clone of Geralt, if you would. It's Geralt with a different skin and slightly different animations. Now remember, the art needs to be upgraded and everything. There we go. So just wanted to prove you guys that this functions. Now, I'm not going to bore you guys to death to play through all the fights. So pretty much this concludes the video. Ideally, you will realize pretty soon as you try this mod out that some of the combo moves don't really behave as you would expect, especially the chain move at the end. So I just want to showcase that it does not really behave the way you guys think. So without further ado, let me try to show what I mean. So that's what I meant. Like, you won't be able to damage everybody as you thought. And there you have it. So just wanted to point that out, that maybe the combo at the end doesn't really kill like 50 people or 50 characters or whatever. It just kills one and has a cool animation. Remember, it's just an animation swap. It needs a lot more editing and modding if I were to make it work properly. But this is just version 1.0, which I will release in the comments, like I said. So please don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe. This really helps my channel. And if you find any bugs in this one whatsoever, or you want to use your own, the files to create your own mod or enhancements, please be my guest. That's the whole point of modding, to help the community get the gameplay they want. So this is my first release of the playing as Letho in The Witcher 2 Assassin of Kings. The next one, probably, if I can't really refine him too much, I think he's pretty well fleshed out. The next release will probably be me focusing on dual wielding characters such as Yorveth, but for now, I will just release Letho. So with that, I'd like to thank you very much for tuning in. Don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe. And until next time, have a good one.